I have been experimenting with food play for the last 2 years in my personal life, and it's time for me to share what I've learned with you. And before you think that this video is gonna be all about making little whipped cream things on your partner and then licking them off, boring. I ask you to stay tuned because I'm about to up your food play game to an 11. Also stay tuned until the end because I'm gonna explain how to do this without ruining your furniture or your sheets, and I'm gonna give you some alternatives that can bring the same excitement and kink and taboo and fun of food play without the mess in case food really isn't your thing. So let's start off with just the basics. What even are we talking about? Food play is using food for your erotic enjoyment, arousal, and sexual satisfaction. It does definitely include licking whipped cream off of a body, but it also includes a whole lot more than that. It is erotic and it's exciting, and that's not just because it's different or you can use it to spice things up, although not literally, talk about that in just a second. But food play is hot because it's taboo, because we're not supposed to be doing that with our food. For me personally, I was raised by a Depression era grandmother, and in my household, we were not allowed to waste food under any circumstances. So for me as an adult, it is extra hot and super naughty for me to consciously break the rules that I lived under as a child. Like, I can play with my food now as an adult as a way of healing the sort of unconscious wounding that I got from having this weird relationship to food in my household. But no matter what your relationship to food is, playing with it erotically is a great way to change things up in the bedroom, to make things a little sweeter, if you'll pardon the pun. Here are some examples of how I personally have tried and experimented with food play in my own home, and that I recommend you try as soon as humanly possible. Number one, take a milk bath. Okay, this doesn't sound necessarily like sex, so stay with me for just a second. Supposedly, even Cleopatra took milk baths. And you can imagine milk baths were only for the rich, the royals, the wealthiest people on planet Earth up until just the last couple generations. And it can involve just you taking a solo bath, getting yourself sensually ready for a sexy night, or you and your partner can enjoy one of these together. And yes, you can totally use cow's milk or goat's milk or whatever. I assume you can use all of the dairy milks. I don't personally know, so check that out first. I just used cow's milk. But if you can't tolerate using animal milk and you can tolerate gluten, you can throw in a bag of oats in the bath with you. For those of you who were affected by itchy skin as children, that might be familiar. Maybe that's not the kinky thing that you want to do. But milk baths, you can pour it all over yourself. You can get into the symbolism of mother's milk. Just let it be hot and let it be sensuous and let it be a form of sexual self-care. Number two, way of using food for play, feed each other. The next time that you are out enjoying a meal together, or if this is like too much for you, that's too much of an edge, maybe just try it at home, take turns feeding each other bites of food. It can be right off of a fork, but if you're really feeling adventurous, try putting food in your mouth and feeding it to them or baby birding them. Get weird with it. This is the point. It's supposed to be playful, but definitely take turns feeding each other. It's so much fun. Number three, have a sensual feast. If you've seen my show, Good Sex on Discovery Plus, you actually will have seen me guide my clients, Ray and Ace, through a sensual feast where I encourage them to use their 5 senses: smell, sight, taste, touch, and sound to really experience each other. Once they've done that, I give them fruit to feed each other and themselves because they're already so tuned into the senses that this really amps up their experience. You can create this at home by going one at a time through each sense and slowly giving yourself a moment to deeply connect with each other and yourself before taking turns feeding the other. Number 4, feast off of each other. Probably the best example of food play and one of the most fun ways that you can engage food and sex is turn your partner into a plate and eat off of them, especially dessert. Now, first of all, you are gonna wanna check for allergies and food sensitivities before you try this at all. In general, avoid spicy food. It's more likely to cause irritation. Avoid really, really hot food. You don't want to burn anyone. And do not get food, especially sugar, on the vulva or inside of the vagina. Other than that, you're pretty much safe. Now, of course, there's favorites like berries, chocolate, and whipped cream, but don't feel like you are just limited to food on the sweeter end of the spectrum. I've seen people make their partner into a chia pudding breakfast complete with walnuts and bananas. And of course, there's the famous example of Japanese nyotaimuri where sushi is eaten off of a naked person. So don't feel like you're limited. You can always turn your partner into a plate for a savory dish as well as dessert. You're also going to want to lay down something under your partner because this is going to get messy. That is part of the fun. More on that in a minute. Which brings me to number 5, using food as a stand-in. Basically, anything that you can cover with a condom is fair game to be inserted into a vagina. Bonus points if you grew it in your own garden. Just make sure that you do not insert anything into the anus that doesn't have a base. Number 6, make it a game. Close your eyes and have your partner put a dab of honey on their body, and you are not allowed to open your eyes until you have found it with your tongue. So you have to take time exploring their body and kissing and licking until you come across this honey. Super fun. Number 7, have fun with temperature. A combination of cold food like berries and chocolate sauce right out of the fridge, or even ice cubes for a more extreme example, and warm food like oven warmed figs or warm melted honey can create a sensory experience all its own. And then number 8, do not forget about the champagne. You can do more than just clink glasses with a bottle of bubbly. I highly recommend that you drink champagne off of your partner. You can try pouring champagne down one person's body and having the other partner drink it, or you can have one partner bring their legs together and squeeze them together, and then you pour champagne down their body and have the other partner drink it out of the little triangle made between their low abdomen and their thighs, like this little bowl. You can also pour champagne into someone's mouth, and when it inevitably spills down, as it will, you can clean it off of their cheeks or their neck, or I'm sure there are lots of other ways that you can get super creative as well. All right, so now that you have a bunch of ideas of what to do with your food, let's talk about how to do this without ruining any of your nice things. All right, number 1, you definitely do not want to ruin your furniture or your sheets. And if you want to be able to fully relax and enjoy your food play experience, I highly recommend that you invest in a waterproof blanket. I really enjoy the Liberator Throw. It comes in multiple sizes. It's plush and luxurious, and you can get one at the affiliate code that I'll put in the description to this video. And if that's a little bit outside of your budget, you can look for a cheap waterproof picnic blanket on the internet. Basically does the exact same thing. And of course, to even calm the most sensually sensitive nervous system, make sure that you have a shower or a bath lined up with everything that that person is gonna need in order to not feel sticky. I know this for myself, feeling sticky is not my favorite thing. And so as soon as things are done, I wanna be sure that I can go straight into the shower and de-stickify before anything else happens. Here is one pro tip. Now that we've discussed how to really lean into food play, I want you to maximize it. Kick it up to an 11 by bringing flowers. This works whether or not you're into food. If you have a partner that maybe doesn't want to be turned into a plate, that is okay. Pick up some fresh flowers and use them as sensation play items. You can take the bud of a rose or the head of a peony and run it all over your partner's body. You can also take a firm flower stem and cut it at an angle to make the stem of the flower into a little kinky toy that allows you to scratch or draw on your partner or even write on their skin. If you have flowers that are a little on the older side, like maybe you've had some roses or peonies are a really good example, and you've had them in your house for like 4 or 5 days, the flowers are starting to come off or come loose, you can use them on your partner as impact toys, meaning you hit them onto your partner's skin to make an impact. And if you strike them hard enough, the flower petals will actually explode off. You can do this with just about any kind of flower that loses its petals, once it is dead. You can also pick up edible flowers from certain grocery stores. Do not eat the flowers from flowers markets. They are often grown using pesticides and you do not want to ingest that. But wherever edible flowers are sold, you can use them as sensation toys and you can eat them. They have different smells and textures and they're very interesting to eat and kind of kinky to eat in and of themselves. The trick is to just go really slowly and allow yourself to have fun getting lost. And then finally, you can also use flowers to decorate and make anything prettier. There's something cool about a bed of flowers or a bathtub full of flowers. Again, the pesticides thing, especially with the bath. But you can get flowers and use them to decorate your partner and then eat your dessert off of them. Just as an example, food and flowers really go together in this sensation play. I'm sure that you have lots of other fun ideas. Please go into the comments below and write your other food play ideas or sensation play ideas. What else did I miss about the kinky, sensual fun that is food play? I hope that you learned something from this video and you're gonna try it with your lover ASAP. I'm Caitlin B, sex and relationship coach, and I will see you here next time. Bye.